So Cenk's line up until this point has been, no, it's at the collegiate level and above. I think once you get to the college level and above, that's when it's bad. So he would be on board with what the NCAA said recently. But you're so dumb. You're so dumb. I don't even know how to explain it to you anymore. Unless, this is the other option, unless you also are a transphobe.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you also are kind of a misogynist.
Wow.
Unless you also were like, yeah, man, men just kind of like can rock on women. You know what I'm saying? Like they strong and like Messi would score 20,000 points. Like this makes no sense. No one is giving you props. No one is giving. This is the same person when you go and fucking share a stage with Dr. fucking Phil. What did it get you? Nothing.
Bitch-a-thon.
You know why? Because you look like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You look like a bitch.
Well, I see why you got fired.
That's what it is.
That's why you got fired.
Like, that's just what it comes down to. You don't look like a fighter. You don't look smart.
Whoa.
You look like a bitch.
A few moments later.
Recently, Francesca Fiorentini asked us at TYT to take her podcast, Habituation Room, off the network. And we happily agreed to that. And today, I'm going a little further, and I'm going to take Francesca off the network entirely. So you won't see her on any of the TYT shows going forward.
Why you call your employer a bitch?
That's insane. He owns literally all the stuff you do.
Like, why would you do that? Like,
Over
that's
a
just
dumb statement.
That's just because you didn't agree. Like, what he said, what she was mad about him saying was facts.
Facts.
Men are stronger than women. A woman at her peak in her legs.
Don't explain it to them.
All right,
they know.
yeah.
They know.
There's no point. Yeah.
A 5-year-old knows.
Yes, it's
no
common
reason.
sense.
Breaking. Cenk announced, I am no longer to appear on the damage report with John Aielladora based on disagreements with TYT's main host, and yes, calling Cenk a bitch for engaging with Dr. Phil, a guy who's joining ICE raids on innocent people. It's been a good 10-year run at TYT, but indeed it's time for both of us to move on. There's too much at stake. There are still many good people at TYT. Sadly, they're not in charge, and fewer women, people of color, and trans people. Smell you later. Cenk is still doing a 20-minute, very Casparian takedown of me for the 6 million subscribers. Anyway, I've got a fraction of that, making a fraction of the money. At last, the Frantifa is strong. Holler at your girl.
I'm sorry, TYT
10 years,
I'm
and all she got is 121K. We've been on X for less than a year, and we got 108.
I'm gonna be real. TYT sucks.
Damn.
Now their whole program sucks.
Well,
At least the main people are keeping it real lately, though.
So I don't mind you disagreeing with me after they know the actual facts. Watch the actual clip instead of believing what people tell you about it, most of whom haven't even seen it. And if you still disagree or hate it, no problem. Watch this clip. Feels like they should just sit down and have a beer, huh?
Believe it or not, she did not stop there. This is now another show. Watch.
So Cenk's line up until this point has been, no, it's at the collegiate level and above. I think once you get to the college level and above, that's when it's bad. So he would be on board with what the NCAA said recently. But you're so dumb. You're so dumb. I don't even know how to explain it to you anymore. Unless, this is the other option, unless you also are a transphobe. You know what I'm saying? Unless you also are kind of a misogynist.
Because if you disagree with Francesca or anyone on that part of the spectrum, well, you must be a misogynist. You must be collaborating with the fascists. And obviously you must be unintelligent. Now, if I had called her dumb, I wonder what her reaction would have been. My guess is nuclear. But I didn't call her that because we have a disagreement. We have a political disagreement. You don't need to make it personal. Not done yet. One last one.
What has it got you? What did it get you? When you go and share a stage with Dr. Phil, what did it get you? Nothing. You know why? Because you look like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You look like a bitch. That's what it is. Like, that's just what it comes down to. You don't look like a fighter.
Yeah.
You don't look smart. You look like a bitch. That's just the reality. I've tried to tell it to you nicely. I've tried to tell it to you cordially. I've tried to tell it to you on your show, on my show, on every show. And so
That's correct.
either you A, are a bitch, or B, you actually agree with the right. And I'm starting to think, in fact, I do think.
Stop it there.
Wow.
Hold on. Why is this even a political agreement? We're talking about men and women's sports. But let's continue.
We're talking about men and women's spaces in general.
That should not be a political talking point at all. That is literally common sense.
It's interesting that she's mad that he's engaging with talks with people from the other side and finding mutual agreement, and that's somehow a bad thing.
This is the understanding
This is
that the Lord gave us.
Yeah, this is the problem with the people on the left. It's like, oh, we don't agree with you at all. Like, so like anyone on their side who happens to have something they agree with on the other side is automatically deemed a bad person, and that's just a terrible
isn't
way
gun
to
rights.
behave.
That's why they lost the election.
Yeah.
This isn't gun rights.
That's why they're gonna keep.
This is
losing.
man and woman. That's why Charlie
See,
asked
a
that
gun right
weird
thing,
guy.
You can have political debate about that. But this
This is common sense.
That's why Charlie pulled him at the DNC and checked whoever ran up to him, the guy from Georgia, and said, "What is a woman?" And he said, "You're so weird," and ran off.
What is a woman? What do you mean?
Think it's the latter.
Okay.
Good job,
So
Gavin and Cenk.
again, if I had called her that would have been a different situation, right? But look, guys, also on the policy or the strategy, when you go talk to the right wingers, first we did that, and I mainly did that, and there was a lot of blowback saying don't ever talk to the right wing, but they won the popular vote. How are we going to win back the voters if we never talk to them? If we don't win them back, we can't ever win an election. And that doesn't mean the far end of MAGA. It means the independents that voted for Trump and maybe some right-wing populists that voted for Trump. Now I've noticed that faction is now saying, well, I mean, of course we should talk to the right, but we should only yell at them or we should only accost them. That seems like a really productive conversation.
Call them names.
And now I guarantee you they'll say, no, I don't mean just yell at them, but just like build coalitions. As Francesca said recently, apparently she's changed her mind about being a collaborator, but not with Trump voters. Well, who would it be if it wasn't Trump voters? Those are the folks on the edge of the middle of the spectrum that we got to bring to our side. We've got to convince them that the populist left is right, not necessarily the populist right, or parts where we agree. Hey, great, let's work together on that. So who are we building coalitions with if it isn't the other side or people who voted in the other direction? And if we talk to them, what are we doing? Only screaming fascists in their face? Or are we having a human conversation? So look, this is not an attitude that I agree with. Again, there are other shows that love what she's saying. And no problem, to each his own, it's a free country. Go and love that and yell and scream and do all the things that you want to do. But do you think that after you do a joint appearance with Dr. Phil or anyone else, that the very next day all of MAGA is going to show up and go, oh, I changed my mind. You're absolutely right. No, this is a gradual process where Americans begin to talk to one another and start to learn about each other and start to,
Cenk, that's all. I feel like they would have got way more votes if that's what they did. Didn't call people fascists and just talk.
They're still doing
Just be normal.
They're still doing this. Jasmine Crockett said, we're trying to be empathetic and everyone in America is selfish. Well, they don't give a shit about disagreements and listening to people.
I had to bring it back though, man.
look how he's sitting.
I had to bring it
Look how
back.
he's
Man,
sitting.
that's not how men sit.
Look how he's sitting.
He tried to call us failed rappers.
I'll slap the nah.
We don't
no, I
even
won't.
rap.
I don't condone
Well,
violence.
maybe you will
I don't
feel
believe in violence. I don't believe in violence.
We don't have to get emotional.
Well, he said-
that's what they want.
He
I don't believe
said
in
that
violence.
We don't get emotional over here.
saying having men in a women bathroom is a white woman problem.
Oh, he the one that said that?
Yes, that was him.
Oh my God, bro.
I mean, after you see how he's sitting, you shouldn't be able to.
Oh hell no.
Boy, gotta nah. You know,
I actually
I'm not
can't
gonna.
believe
I'm not
this.
gonna. I'm not gonna talk straight. He's entitled to his opinion, just like everyone else. You know, every time I get on somebody's head for having a different opinion than me, I'm doing the same thing the left
You are.
does. You
You're
know,
stooping to their level.
Yeah, and
that's why you just gotta be like, all right, man.
At
It
the
is
end-
what it is.
No, and truly at the end of the day, I really don't care if people think differently than me.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their
you
opinion.
can call me whatever too. I don't care about
Yeah,
that either.
everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Guess how
So
I'm gonna sleep tonight.
that's just where I'm gonna
Great.
leave it at. You know, I remember I went hard on Bill Burr, and the next day I thought about it. I was like, why did I do that? That was a waste of my breath.
But when you think a man could be a woman, you gotta kind of.
You don't gotta.
see, I draw the
You
line
gotta
there.
stand in line.
You gotta
bro.
understand though. Look,
You gotta get on their butt.
if
about
they
that.
think that, what can I say that's gonna change that.
But they're forcing you to
Nothing.
think like that, though.
No, they're not.
They're,
no.
They
They're
have
calling
made
you
They
calling
know
you a
it can force
word.
me to think anyway.
But
well,
either way,
they made laws and stuff, kind of backing
Let me
that
keep it
stuff
real,
up.
though.
But how would that change how I think?
No, that's fair. But I'm
look,
just saying.
maybe we could have maybe we could slightly have a conversation with them if they won a swing state.
I'm a big Messi fan, so but let me just explain this to
Answer
you.
my
Yeah, yours.
question. Would you allow him, if he said I'm a woman, to play in the American women's
You're using
national
the
team?
wrong pronoun
Yes, right now. Hell yeah, are you kidding me?
Transgender female athletes in women's sports. Only 18% of the country says that they should be, in fact, allowed to participate in women's sports.
Your argument is really bad on this, and you're out of your depth. You're correct that trans women should be able to compete in women's sports, but your argument for it is just scientifically and factually incorrect. I'm actually not bad about this. I'm 100% right on this. I don't give a the scientific explanations. People, if they identify as a woman, get to compete in sports. If that's not fair in the short term for a variety of little competitions, I don't give a
I mean, my goodness gracious, 79%. You rarely get 79% of the country to agree on anything.
because the societal interest of including trans people in society trumps stupid competition. Full stop. So I'm right about this. You're wrong about this.
You'd let Lionel Messi play in the women's national football team and destroy
Hell yeah,
women's football
welcome.
forever. You'd let Usain
I mean, it'd be
Bolt.
very difficult
Hang on.
to get a ticket,
Hang on.
which would suck.
I want to do a little checklist here. You'd let Usain Bolt compete as a sprinter in the American women's Olympic team.
Yes.
Okay. You would let Floyd Mayweather compete as a boxer in the
not
women's
this one, not
American
this one.
boxing team.
Opposing them in women's sports. You get 67% of Democrats, so 2/3 there. You get 64% of independents, so you get about 2/3 there.
So I'm right about this. You're wrong about this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You can't reason with these people.
Why are they allowed to vote?
67% of y'all own party don't want this.
Even the independents are in agreement on this. 64%.
Because this is common sense, bro.
Hey, bro.
It's beyond common sense.
Hey, bro. You can't find any common ground with these people. They're actually beyond saving.
But hey, let them keep thinking that, and they can keep losing elections.
Yeah.
That's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You can keep thinking that, and y'all can cry over there and be emotional and lose an election.
Nobody
every time.
It's crazy because nobody's telling trans people not to be who they are.
You
They
can compete in
just-
sports. You can do what you want. Compete in sports. But what you was born with, that's where you going.
We just
Sorry.
saying, don't go in the bathroom, buddy.
It's no problem.
Is that
You
hard
could
to ask?
be. You know, you could be. You,
not
if you want
hard
to
to
change your
ask.
gender, change your gender. But you
brother,
can't. You
but
can't.
You
You
go
can't.
when
sorry.
it comes to certain when it comes to jail,
Exactly.
in sports,
we can't
you
be
gotta go where you're
delusional.
original.
You have a Johnson.
I like that we can both be very Mediterranean about it and get like super mad, but then rein it in and be cool and then be like, we're just gonna yell and then
know
we're
she
gonna be
doesn't have a
fine
man.
and then we're gonna get over it.
she cat
So
lady.
that's the kind of beer I like to have.
Yes. Thank you.
2 days later.
I mean, I have my own thoughts on like why he's doing it. I think, if you think your brain was broken by the 2024 election, I think we're looking at a case where someone's brain was broken even harder.
Wow.
I do think it's sad that even though they allow people like us into the fold and the fray, they refuse to learn from us or listen to us. And I think that when you have been doing this work for so long, and you still cannot grasp the idea of intersectionality, how race and gender and class all intertwine with one another, and how the fascist goal is to divide us based on these lines. I don't know like who you are. Like I don't even know if you're smart. You know what I mean? I don't even know. First of all, I don't know who your political mentors are. I don't know who you look up to. I don't know what your touchstones are. I don't know if you know your history in terms of like civil rights, women's rights, gay rights struggle in this country. I don't know anything. I call into question all of that. It sounds like you are just an opportunistic mouthpiece who wants clicks time and time again.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at black people.
black people
Hey, look,
to trans,
LGBTQ,
bro.
black person, right there.
No.
There you go, right there.
No, bro.
No, we black.
I won't have it, bro.
I can't go for we black,
I'm
bro.
going for
We
it.
ain't with
So
that
you want to
fruity.
be with them?
Hell no, I ain't with that fruity ass shit.
You know,
and y'all can get mad at me if y'all listen to
I
me.
don't identify.
I don't care if somebody be gay. You
It's
could
that.
be gay, but you ain't gonna label a group of people.
I just don't get the like. Okay, a black
Me no
is a
black, me no
skin
black.
color.
Thank you.
Trans I don't know what that is.
I can't change this. I came out like
this. It is a mental disorder.
Yes.
It is a mental illness.
100%.
I'm sorry, it is.
100%.
You say that's transphobic? Whatever. I don't care. I will
Facts.
sleep just as fine. If you are trans, you have a mental illness. Sorry.
Facts.
Hey man,
Why they keep doing
I've
that,
heard
bro?
enough of what she thinks. She's
Trans
obviously
people are like black people.
She's obviously an extremist. I've heard enough of her, honestly.
I think Martin Luther King would roll over in his goddamn grave. He was
No, he
alive.
would, bro.
Whitney, I was finna
And he
disrespect
called us
I
YNs.
was gonna say, man, what if Sink really, you know?
He called us YNs because we
what if
don't
he
agree
did
to
that?
this.
That's why she crashing out right now.
Is she what?
What if Sink, you know, but he got a wife called Wendy Lane.
Is that Jink?
I'm pretty sure.
You trying to say he hit the Harry?
You said, oh yeah,
Yeah, it's Wendy Lane.
Where's he in that picture though?
I don't know, but
Oh yeah, there she go right there.
when you got an Asian wife, you know,
Shout out, Jink.
gotta
man.
have a little common sense.
He's a populist. He's
lie to-
not a fool.
I just
she
don't
married
see
too.
why
I ain't
people
gonna lie.
really
And I'm crazy,
believe.
though.
I can't. People really believe that men should be able to play.
Yeah,
with
bro.
women.
Whatever,
It's
bro.
just
Hey,
the most
hey,
craziest
hey,
shit
straight up.
in
Let's just,
life,
hey,
bro.
let's
That
just
shit's stupid.
moment of silence for the brother that's sitting right there right now. I can't believe
His little sassy ass.
Y'all, he tried to get on us, y'all. Look
I
at
can't
him.
believe this guy, man. Just look at him, bro. For real. Like,
Woo! He tried to call us YNs and we got master's degrees.
Yeah, don't
we
disrespect
said we
me.
don't know nothing. We don't know about history. Oh my God, brother.
They don't know about us. They said they just care about clicks. Look at what's behind them. Whatever, brother. Whatever, brother.
We out here, guys. Y'all seen it.